Looks like I am live on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on Instagram. Hello. I wish I could do it on TikTok because TikTok is really cool program that I am using today. Okay, so while I'm still waiting for my guest, my special guest, let me run the video, the beginning of the video that I made, better to say, I created many years ago. And here is the video. Let me do it. Okay. Let me see if there is anybody here. No, not yet. Okay. Private chat. I don't need private chat. Okay. Okay. So let me begin running the video share screen while I'm still waiting for my guest. Here is the video. And I want you to tell me, whoever is here already, I want you to tell me if you recognize this very special guest. Let's do it. Okay, let me run it. The beginning of the video. Okay. We do it for you guys as well on Instagram.
Sorry. Sorry. Just one second. Where there's constant pressure, but pressure to me, I normally thrive off pressure. It's like I could make my job so much easier by delegating work to other people, but doesn't he think that it would take a bit long? Because everything he has to say has to be translated, and then it's been translated in a way that I understand. And then I have to ask you a question. You know, I don't really listen to what everyone has to say and make my own mind up. It just felt like the right thing for me to do at the time. So I took a week off work and worked really hard. And my main concern really was going back to work after we'd done the program, because I work as a chef and I work a lot of hours, maybe 12 hours a day on average, which means it also involves a lot of stress and a lot of speaking to people in a fast-paced environment, and kind of like stupid in a way, you know. I think you're studying still, and obviously you have to interact with people all the time, and you're joking around sometimes, things like that, and it can cause a lot of problems. And that was my main concern. But since I've been back to work, which I was still nervous about on the first morning, I must admit, but it was kind of an exciting nervous because I just...
Okay, I stopped running the video, and I will switch to me, Instagram. I wish I could do it all with one button. Okay. I'm back on Instagram. Okay, I'm still waiting for Rog. I don't know what happened. So, the bottom line, we are here today. Oh, here is Roger. Yay! I'm going to add him to the stage. Here he is. Hi, Rog. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, Anna.
Perfect.
How are you doing?
Let me make us bigger. Yay! That's it. So I am doing great, and I see that there are a couple of people already watching us. I'm still waiting for people to join. Okay, you can say hello to people.
Hello, everybody. It's been a while since I've joined Anna, that's for sure.
That's right. So, Roger, the reason I have invited you today, you know what the reason is. That the video that we just played in the beginning, I played in the beginning of this podcast, there was a question. May I speak to Roger? I want to talk to Roger. I want to ask Roger some questions. People are fascinated with the video, with your transformation that you had many, many years ago.
Mm,
And I decided, you know what? I know it doesn't make any sense to look at someone else's success. And I mean, your success was the result of your actions, right?
for sure.
But people still want to see someone who succeeded and they think that this is going to help them. Okay, so while we still don't have anyone asking questions, oops, I don't see anybody watching us now. Anyway, let's just go. People will watch it after it's recorded, of course.
Yeah, sure.
So let's go. The question is, let's reminisce a little bit about that time.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to the time when you first messaged me. Woo!
Okay.
Long time ago.
Wow. I'm thinking this would have been 2011, 12,
I
around
think
that
it
time.
was 11. I think
11,
it was
yeah.
11. Kind of, because that's the time when I started. Maybe
Yeah.
the end of 2011, then 2012 in the beginning. Okay,
That's correct.
doesn't matter.
So I believe I was quite lucky to find you very early on, because through my stuttering career, I obviously, I've told my story in the past of how I did speech therapy, lots of programs, spent a lot of money, etc. And I think I'd gone for a few years not really working on my speech or trying to find a solution. Sometimes I think we get to that stage where we give up once we've tried something and then it's not successful and we think, oh, well, you know, just get on with life and nobody's perfect, blah, blah, blah. So I was at
No, wait a
stage.
second. Not because nobody is perfect, because you still believed that you were disordered.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
you had a
Exactly.
stammering disorder. You still believed it. The system still brainwashed you, telling you
Yeah,
that
exactly.
something was wrong with you.
Yeah, and I was always basically taught to just accept it in the end and just try to live your best life with this problem that I had. So I
And you
came
did
to
it.
you.
You did it.
Yeah,
You
well,
accepted, and then, so yeah. So why you still didn't want to accept it?
no, exactly. No, never did. But sometimes I guess it was easier for me with my work and stuff just to get on with things and deal with it. But I was never happy, you know. So anyway, I found you through YouTube, I believe, first when you uploaded Roman's videos with your voiceover. So I got to a stage where I was looking back into speaking again. So I was on the stuttering forums. There was two at the time that were quite popular online, because this was really before YouTube was really mainstream, or it was only a few years into YouTube, so there wasn't much
12
content.
years ago, 12,
Yeah.
13 almost years
Almost
ago.
13.
Of course.
Yeah, there wasn't much information back then on YouTube. So I was on forums a lot, and I did watch a series of videos that at the time I found quite useful, and I experienced a little bit of fluency, but then also it was only short-lived. So at that same time, that summer, yeah, it would have been 2010, 11. So I found those voiceovers you did with Roman, and because I'd done so many other courses, pretty much every course going, apart from the Maguire program, which I never really related to because I didn't
Good
want to
for
speak
you.
like that. I just didn't want to. It was something inside me that resonated that that's not what I want to be doing long term and having all the effort to put into that. Because as much as I'm a hard worker, I've got a good work ethic. you'll find with stutterers especially, somehow they lack the motivation and are a bit lazy when it comes to actually working on themselves with the personal development, especially with speech, and especially even if they do a technique or something, which of course is wrong. If they do a technique, then very few of them will stick to that long term, because obviously it's unnatural. So you can't really blame them, but it's just a natural thing that they will not follow through with it. Because I was the same, you know, I'd say, I remember growing up as a kid, example, I would say on my Saturday, Sunday off school, I would stand in front of the mirror all day and just practice reading. I would just do that. Did I? No, but every weekend, that was my plan.
But
So
Roger, you didn't have to do practice.
no, well, I
That's
know that
the
now.
funny part. There is no need for practice.
Mm,
You
no.
just need to understand what to do and just do it.
It was a
Get used to
confusion I
doing
had
this.
even after working with you, Anna. It was a confusion I had that I had to
Yeah.
still practice and work hard and spend all day in the dictionary, blah, blah, blah. But once I found you, there was something about them videos, even though they were in Russian and you voiced over, I could see the
It's
people
so
in the
funny,
video.
Roger. I'm
Oh,
sorry, I'm going to
crazy.
interrupt you.
All right.
Because when you mentioned this, I remember how I was doing it. I was translating Roman and trying to speak with a low voice.
Yeah, I resonated with it.
Today you can
Yeah.
use AI voices, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But back then it was horrible. So I was translating Raman, my mentor, and I was translating him with a low voice, kind of pretending I am speaking like a man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you watch those Raman's videos, right?
Yeah, and so I got quite excited about them. For some reason, for me personally, it might be different for other people. Something clicked when I was watching his students before and after. Now, I've seen plenty of videos before and after from different programs, and you could still tell there was something there, hesitations or blockages. But these people, you could see something transform in them. You know, they were a different person almost from the before and after, and that's what I wanted. So I think I might have messaged you on YouTube, commenting. Maybe I can't remember how we originally got in touch, and I'm not sure if your website was fully up at that time. But I found a way to contact you.
No, of course I had a website. Of course. How
Did you?
can you
Yeah, I
contact
can't
me?
remember. It's so
Yeah.
long ago.
So I had a website and you contacted me.
Did I?
I don't remember. Oh,
I can't.
did you write to me, email me? I don't really remember
Could have been
today.
email. I'll have
How
to look.
we contact. But anyway, so you contacted me, and what happened after that? What did we do?
I think we had conversations, obviously, and I was asking a lot of questions, and I wasn't sure
remember
if
we scheduled a consultation with Raman, all three of us.
yeah, I think that was maybe about a month after we'd toed and froed with conversations and stuff.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if you was ready at that stage with being in touch with Rome and if you was ready to run courses or anything like that. And of course, I was still skeptical. As much as I was excited, I was very much afraid to spend the money, because I'd spent, I would say, £10,000 from age 18 to 30 on different programs, which is a lot of money for me because I don't come from a wealthy family. All the money that I have, I've earned through hard work as a chef. So it was such a big investment. Yeah, it was a big investment.
That a lot.
Obviously, you helped me with that because I was your first student. So I decided
And
in the end
by
to
the
take
way,
the risk.
Rog, you were skeptical. I was also skeptical.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was
The
new for both
very
of us at that
first
time.
student, I was so like, will it work? How could it be so easy? Because I was a speech therapist before I met you. I was a speech therapist for 30 years, and it was engraved in my head. Stuttering is a neurological disorder. It's incurable. And all of a sudden, I was going to see an amazing transformation, just like a snap of the fingers.
Like magic.
And I was like, will it really work? Okay. So we had a conversation. You asked your questions, right?
Correct.
To Raman. right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the very first impression of Rahman?
I guess even before I met him, I had a good impression just because, as I said earlier, I just felt this aura about him, something charismatic about him, and his conviction when he spoke and the subject that he was speaking about. I felt like this is a guy who knows what he's talking about,
Uh-huh.
you know. And then I've obviously, after watching his videos as well, that just reinforced that for me. So I came into that with a lot of respect for him, not in a judgmental mindset. So I was very much open to listen. Whereas a lot of us, you know, especially in this day and age, we have attention issues because everything's at our fingertips on computers. We use scrolling through YouTube shorts or
Of course.
TikTok or whatever people do these days. And so from what I recall, I know you put some clips of me in that consultation that we had, I think, and I was really struggling speaking. I couldn't get a word out for some of the questions, but he didn't react in a way that I felt was, oh, I'm a lost cause. I'm too much for him to handle. So I was quite positive after that. And then I think pretty much after the consultation, I decided to take the risk and be a first student back then.
Yeah, you did. Yay!
And it's been nice knowing you as a friend as well. You know, you're a really good person, Anna, you know.
Thank you. You know
You're
what?
welcome.
You're not bad yourself.
I have my moments, yeah.
So the main goal today, I want people to see that what happened to you may happen to them any second. They just have to take action. They have to make a decision. But every time they ask me, can I talk to one of your graduates, to someone? I'm like, what's the point? Everything they
Yeah,
wanted
I
to say,
understand
they
it,
have
but
said in the videos.
yeah, I guess I can relate to them in a way because I might have had those same questions, but obviously I wasn't able to because all the previous students were in Russian. But I do understand where they're coming from the mindset of like, oh, but is it still going to work in 3 months or a year, or are we 12 years now away? And it's just a case of you've got to make the commitment yourself, haven't you, and go through it. Anybody can come online and say whatever they want, but you've got to also do it yourself. You know, what
Especially
one man can
today,
do, another man
Roger,
can do. You know,
especially today with AI.
well,
You
yeah,
can
anything can be
make
fake.
anything
You know?
fake, right?
I promise you, I'm not AI.
Okay, I see already a few people watching us. I just
Oh, good.
want to interrupt our conversation and remind you, those who are watching us. Guys, do not hesitate. Roger is live. What country are you in right now?
I'm in England at the moment.
See, he's in England. I am in US. It doesn't happen that often that we get together on live stream. So
No,
go ahead. You may ask him any question you want. Go ahead. Don't hesitate. Okay. Right, Roger?
yeah, correct. Yeah, ask
No
away.
problem.
I'm here.
He is willing to answer any question. But let's continue while we're still waiting for the questions. Let me see if I got out of private chat. Yeah, I'm out, so I can see the questions now if there will be any questions. Okay, so we communicated with Raman. You decided to take the class. What happened then? What happened next?
Okay, so after the class, are we talking after the class or during the class?
Yeah, no, I mean, whatever comes in your mind, whatever your memory serves you.
Yeah, well, obviously, I've not thought about this
By the
for
way,
so
here is the
long.
green light of the camera. That's the best way to look at them. People will think you're looking at them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Go.
So
Okay.
actually, during the course was obviously nerve-wracking because I'd committed and I'd paid my money. So I was also very strict on myself that I wanted to give this my full attention throughout the 3 days. My course was actually a little longer than 3 days.
It
It was
was
like
4 days.
3.5 days, 4 days.
Yeah, 4 days.
Because obviously it was the first time, and we had to translate everything from Roman, and me and Anna worked together as well for like 8 hours a day back then. I'm sure your programs are much shorter now, but mine was a good 8 hours, even 10 hours on the second day. There was parts of the program where I was getting quite frustrated. I'm not sure if you remember, Anna. I almost walked out on the third day. Roman was saying something to me, and I took it personally, I think, because I was so tired. I'd been working hard all day, learning like ringtones back then, and the basics of speech and the understanding, the philosophy of his.
Once again, the program wasn't, I mean, it was there, but
it was
in Russian.
Yeah,
and in order to teach it in English, number one, I wasn't sure how to translate the terms Roman was using. This is why it took so much time. At times, if you remember, we would interrupt, and Roman would blah, 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 explaining to me, not to you, to me, what he means by saying something. And then I would have to, how do I translate? And back then, Google Translate wasn't as strong, if there was Google Translate 12 years ago. I'm not even sure.
We didn't use it for sure during the program, I remember.
Yeah. So, okay, yes, you got frustrated. Sometimes I got frustrated. And I even remember that after the class, I lost my voice.
Yeah, we were working hard.
Talking. Okay. So you were frustrated, but you still kind of were sticking to the course.
I think on that second or third day, I did have to take half an hour just to get myself together and think, hey, come on, just do exactly what you're told. Don't question too much. Of course, have questions, but don't, you put your trust in these people. So cut out there. Oh, sorry. We
looks like you're breaking. Okay, you're back.
My internet connection is not amazing here, so let's hope for the best.
No problem. We're back. Okay.
So I must admit, by the end of the second day, I was speaking really well, because I think you told me to go out and speak. Don't just be focused on the program and then just don't speak, then come back. Everything was about speaking, So yeah, I remember having conversations on that evening with family and a friend. Perhaps I called up as well, had a nice conversation, doing everything that I was told, and I was feeling really good. By the end of the third day, I felt this ease that I'd never really experienced before. Even those times where I'd experienced some fluency in my life, very short-lived. Probably after the age of 20, when I was paying for courses and things, I experienced some fluency for a short amount of time, days, maybe a week or two, but I'd always slip back.
Roger, do you remember my attitude towards the word fluency? Do I like this word?
No, you don't like that word, do you? No, you don't like that word.
No,
just normal speech.
Fluency in speech doesn't exist. It's just BS.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist. It's the system's idea that when we speak, we can be fluent. What does it mean, fluent? I mean, anyway, so either you have difficulty when you speak or you don't.
Exactly, yeah.
It's very simple. Just
it should be simple, everything. Easy.
No difficulty, natural. Then it's a perfect speaker. When you have difficulties, then you need to see what is it that you're doing that makes it difficult for you.
I do recall there was some confusion in my own mind when we were working on the first day. I was thinking, oh, is this a technique we're learning here? But no, we were just breaking it down to the blocks of normal speech, how a young child would basically learn to speak. So
you mean blocks, parts, right? That's what
parts,
you mean.
I mean that,
blocks.
Yeah, in context,
right. Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And so, the course was a massive success. At the end, I felt amazing. I went back into work, I think the next day after the course or a couple of days afterwards. I told people at work, I did tell a white lie, to be honest. I said I was going to a stuttering conference in Birmingham. I remember telling my boss, and if I could have the time off, because it was my mindset of like, if I fail, I don't want to go back and have to explain that, oh, it didn't work. You know, I think stutterers can
Wow.
probably understand that mindset. So I went back in. I didn't say that I'd done this program with you or anything. And I remember that first morning I went into a meeting with the executive chef and a couple of other chefs because we needed to discuss the new menu that we was going to be putting forward for the summer. And I was giving ideas and I just felt like really good. And it was so easy to do as well. And I spent the next 6 months, I spent a lot of time with you, Anna, like trying to help you as much as I can. I was on Facebook a lot, like spreading the word of your program. And 95% of the response I got was negative, and I was getting called a scammer. People were calling you a scammer and saying that I've never stuttered in my life and all this stuff. And it was, but I kept
Really?
going.
They said
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you
Oh,
never stuttered.
yeah. I kind of took that as a compliment. And I remember I went into old boxes at home and I found like documents from when I was like 8 or 9 at primary school with reports saying that my speaking is very underdeveloped, and so therefore I went into secondary school in the bottom class of every subject because they just assumed I was a bit slow because I couldn't speak. So, you know, and I felt I didn't have to prove myself, and it kind of made me a bit upset, really, because, you know, I'd worked so hard for my life. Anybody who stutters knows that it can be hell, you know, like you're trapped inside your own
Wow.
thoughts and you can't express yourself, say what you want to say, when you want to say it, how you want to say it. So I kind of took offense of that, but I kept going. But eventually it burnt me out after 6 months. I did upload some videos on YouTube, just reading out loud a year or two afterwards. But I took myself away from the Echelon program.
Stuttering community.
Yeah, that's it. I took myself away from it because I was just getting bad feedback when all I was trying to do was help people. There was a couple of prominent people in the stuttering community. One of them, I think, had wrote a book on stuttering, and I said, I'll be happy to Skype with you. And I Skyped with one guy who most people know in the stuttering community, and I was happy to answer any question. And it was actually seemed pretty okay guy. It was fine. We had a good chat and stuff. But then after the call, he didn't really report on that, you know, or maybe he had some doubts about it. Yeah, there's so much I did back then straight after the program. And I wanted to, it was kind of always my dream as a child to maybe, if I could overcome this stuttering problem, because it was such a big part of my life growing up as a kid, and it used to hold me back, you know, with like relationships, friends. I never really used to see any friends because I could never pick up a telephone. It's easier now because people can use Messenger or Telegram to contact each other, so you can stay in touch with school friends. Back then you had to literally pick up a telephone, and I couldn't use the telephone. I was like, no. I'm not picking up a telephone. I remember a program I did in London. This was about 5 years before I came to you, Anna. I remember we were forced to do telephone calls to businesses. So I remember one call where I had to call up a shoe shop and ask them if they had a certain size shoe or something in a particular color. And the fear that was going through my body at the time, and I was literally at the start of the phone, I was just like, and I was doing that for 30 seconds, and the people just put the phone down, and I just started crying. But I was only young. I was about 12.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's probably a long time ago before I met you. Actually, 10 years maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was only little. It was the first time that I traveled away pretty much on my own. I went on the train, and they had a carer who picked me up from the train station in London to go there. And then actually during that program, it's a funny story. So during that program, I decided to go for a walk around the block. I must have been about 12. I was old enough to go on the train by myself. And I got lost in London. So I didn't know what to do. So I called home. I called my mum, and she called the police in the area, and they came to pick me up. and I was just a stuttering mess because I couldn't approach anybody in the street and
I'm
ask
not
them. So I
sure
was
it
a bit
was
scared.
funny. You said it was a
No, it
funny
wasn't funny
story.
at the side. It wasn't funny. Looking back in hindsight, it's quite funny.
Yeah, not
But
that funny.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
did my best to really help out, but obviously, as you still experience now, there's a lot of hate. Because I recently, after we got in touch again, last week, I've not watched a lot of your videos for so long. I decided just to look at some of the comments on your YouTube videos, see if you still get the same, like sometimes negative feedback for people who've not really done their own research into what you're doing and what you're about. And yeah, so and
No,
that's how we got
no
in touch.
more. I don't see any negative
No, I
comments
didn't see
anymore.
hardly any. You know, there's people obviously asking questions, which is great, and I like how you respond like properly. You're not just defensive. You don't answer defensively. You say the facts and then just get in touch if you have any more questions. So that's the way
Right.
to
Right.
do it for sure.
Okay. So you have done the program, and you, after the program, as you mentioned, you have been so active trying to help people to understand that there is nothing wrong with them, that they can speak well, just like you did, right?
Of course. Trust me, if
So,
I can do it, anybody can do it. Because I did have a severe stutter as a very young child, very bad, up until about the age of 18 when I started to work on it. But still, there was days I couldn't get a word out, you know.
yeah.
I used to do a lot of facial contortions where people who stutter will probably understand that sometimes when you have to talk a lot, your face at the end of the day will be so sore and aching because you're trying to manipulate it into all these different things. And I remember I used to take a double breath sometimes as a technique, or I'd do all these secondary behavior. I'd tap my hand or something and I'd shake, and it's all goes against what natural speech is about. So it should be very relaxed. And as you have said a lot of the time, and this is so true, when you're speaking, you should have really a feeling of relaxation. It should be very comfortable.
Yeah.
There's no effort involved here. There's no technique involved. It all comes naturally, you know, but you've still got to put in the work to, first of all, experience that feeling of doing it and understanding the simple core understandings of how you do speak using like echelon norms and
Understanding everything. We're humans. Everything begins with understanding. We need to understand what we do to speak. I mean, when people speak, for some reason, they're speaking well. Even when parrots speak, for some reason, they don't go to a speech therapist. They
they're
don't do
mimicking.
any, don't use any techniques, but they speak well, right?
Mm.
So it all starts with understanding. But there is another big part when you mentioned work. What kind of work? Or you said practice. I don't like even the word practice. What kind of work did you have to do after the class?
Okay, so after the class, I think I did still spend a little bit of time with the dictionary.
That's what I wanted to show to you.
Yeah.
You needed to learn words, and back then
learn words,
we
exactly.
didn't
Yeah,
have speaking Google Translate. We
exactly.
didn't have,
I think Roman had used the term, I had a lack of active vocabulary. So I knew words, but because I never used the words on a regular basis and words that I
you
used to
did
struggle
use
on,
words, but
substitutes.
Roger, I'm
Not
going to
correctly.
stop. You
Please.
did use words, but they all, maybe not all, but most of them were broken.
Yeah.
Your usta, you know how we call it now, usta,
Yeah, I've
speech
heard that.
organ, right? Usta.
Yeah.
It's not just the tongue, it's usta. So your usta, your speech organ, had the muscle memory of the words that we write, and you were still attempting to speak in the way people write. This is why instead of saying, like, for example, dropping for the ringtone, right, you were attempting to say the first letter, like any word, instead of
Exactly. Yeah.
like in the word, for example, cat, we need to say cat, the first ringtone, remember?
Yeah.
And you attempted the
Yeah,
first letter.
exactly. Yeah, this was a big problem with mine. I remember now. Yeah. Yeah, because
So,
there's a big confusion between the written word and the spoken word. It's a
so this,
completely different skill set.
you're absolutely correct. So in the beginning, after the class, you needed to learn oral words, not written words,
Yeah.
but oral words. And during the class, you understood the difference between them, right?
Yeah, I did.
And of course, you understand it, still remember it. So this was a great tool, but it wasn't perfect because, again, you were dealing with the written words,
Exactly.
unfortunately. So today we are using it just as a source of information, but instead of the dictionary, we ask our students to use Google Translate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or even better, as I already mentioned to you when we talked before the show, the AI language tutor. When you look
Right.
at some character speaking to you, you're looking at his mouth and you're doing the same. Because that's how all people learn to speak. All children learn to speak, not by looking at the letters, not by attempting to read in their mind, right?
Yeah.
Recalling the way the word is written and trying to read it out loud. No, we are learning to say any word by looking at the mouth of other people and imitating, doing the same, exactly like other people do. Anyway, so back then it wasn't available yet, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. The Stone Age.
Right. So any story you can recall from that time, right after the
the program.
3-day class? Yes, any stories?
Ooh, you're putting me on the spot here now, Anna, because
That's
I've not
great.
really
That's
thought
what
about this.
life is always doing, right?
Yeah, because I just like to tell everyone we only arranged this live stream a couple of days ago. We were going to do it on the Friday, which was a day after I spoke to you, but so I'm not prepared. I've not written any notes or anything like that. So yeah, so after the course, wow.
I'm going to interrupt you again, Rog. Rog,
Yeah.
do we need to be prepared for speaking
Well, no,
spontaneously?
of course not. No, definitely not.
We don't know
I just
what
don't
we're
have the
going to
best
talk
memory.
about.
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah. Well, what I can recall is it led on to a few decisions, big decisions in my life, not long after the program that I made. So as I said earlier, I went back into work and everything was really great because I was still a head chef at that time. And so I was able to do my job so much better communicative wise, if that's even a word. Communicative wise. It probably isn't. So there we go.
You should know better.
I'm inventing words
English
now,
is
but
your
it
first
sounded right.
language.
Yeah.
English is your okay. Go ahead.
It gave me a lot of self-esteem, a lot more confidence, and it also meant that my anxiety and stress levels were reduced because even though things around me hadn't really changed, you'll always have stresses and strains in life, and being able to speak certainly doesn't cure those. That's important to understand that, you know, this is just one aspect of becoming a better version of yourself, and being true to yourself is being able
You know
to
what? I
communicate.
want you to emphasize this because this is all about growing up, raising yourself.
Yeah.
It's not about being treated for a neurological disorder. Okay.
No.
You gotta grow yourself because basically stuttering disorder doesn't exist. But why you're having difficulties in speech? Because you are underdeveloped. You're still a baby in speech. You still haven't learned all the oral words here, and your mind is filled with all kinds of misinformation.
Yeah.
So you gotta grow up. Okay, sorry, interrupted you.
Okay. No, everything you said there is absolutely correct, you know.
Thank you.
And important, you know, because I think I was still under the impression as a stutterer that once I could speak, then all my problems are solved. I'll have an easy life, you know. But no. There's still tragedies that happen
I
in
mean,
life.
it's
You
much
still have
easier,
yeah,
Roger.
that's the thing.
Much
It's
easier.
the difference is that once you're able to speak normally and freely, at least you can handle them problems and deal with them. Because say now, if I have an issue, I literally just get on the phone and solve the problem, you know, or speak to the person who I'm having issues with instead of avoiding the situation, which causes
Mhm.
more stress. And so you become more proactive in your life as well. You make better decisions sometimes as well, because you're more proactive in capturing the information that you need to solve that problem. So the work was really great, and I got back in touch with a few old friends that I'd not spoken to in years, so that was nice. It was great to be able to speak to my mum and my dad and my sister and just actually have conversations. I finally experienced that feeling of how lovely it can be to just have a conversation, whereas before my average call time on the phone was maybe 2 or 3 minutes. After the program, it was
hang up, get it over with.
yeah, like, okay, I've got to go. All right, bye.
Yeah, I gotta
So
go.
after the program, it was like I kind of neglected my sleep a little bit because I had this extra energy as well. I remember it gave me so much more energy because it freed up all this extra energy that I was doing, that I was using, doing things incorrectly. That became available to me. So I had this more zest for life, if you will. And those 2 or 3 minute phone calls turned into 2 or 3 hour phone calls, but they only seemed like 20 minutes because when you're communicating with somebody who you respect and enjoy their company and you're on the same wavelength and you're talking about subjects that you want to speak about, it's actually very enjoyable. Whereas as a stutterer, I used to hate talking. I could literally go the whole day and not say one word and be completely fine, be happy with that, you know, relaxed. That was a good day. I didn't have to speak at school or something. But now it's like after the program, I was looking for situations to talk. Sometimes I'd go into town, I remember, for no reason, just because I wanted to ask for things in shops. And that just reinforced the new program in my mind. You know, I'm not sure if that's the right way to describe it, but it just reinforced, and that brings confidence, and that confidence builds upon itself and compounds over time. So, and as you kept telling me, the most important thing is not practicing anything, it's just speaking, but doing it in the correct way. And the more you do that, the quicker the results come in. When people are working with you, that can happen in 1 day, 2 days, for some
Yeah,
people, 3 days.
even a
But
few hours,
yeah,
2,
I'm
3
sure it can
hours,
now.
if
Yeah.
people already
Mm.
understand what to do in speech.
Yeah.
What to
Exactly.
do, not what to do in speech, in my opinion, but in the Mother Nature's opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever everyone is doing, you just, guys, you need to ask yourself, what is it that other normal people do? What is it that they do that they speak so well? Why? What is it that they're doing? But unfortunately, people who stutter never ask this question. Correct me if I'm wrong, write to us,
It's
to
true.
me
Yeah.
and Roj. Okay.
Mm.
I see many people are watching. I don't understand why I don't see any questions. Roj, give me 1 second. I'm going to go to YouTube. Oh, wait a second. I need to open another YouTube. Okay. To see, oops. Oh, people on, let me see, live. Let me see if it's working there. Yeah, it's working. And I want to see if there are any questions. Excellent connection. Yeah, we're live. Everything is working. Okay, no questions there. I'll close it.
Cool.
Okay, so let me go back to StreamYard. So where were we? You mentioned something I wanted to interject, but I forgot what it was. Doesn't matter. Let's continue. So you were telling that you, after the class, you had the extra energy to do a lot of things, right?
Oh
But
yeah,
I
that was
have a
it.
question because I remember you had your concern. As a matter of fact, you know what? I
Cool.
think we can see it in the video.
Okay.
Let me go. I just have an idea. Let me go there.
Oh.
Let's see where you were talking to Raman.
Wow.
Second, I'm going to
It
play.
has to be translated, and then it has been translated in a way that I understand. And then I have to ask you a question.
Yeah, no, it's a short. I shortened this part, but I'm going to switch this. This is 3.5 months after the program. See, this is the video that I created 3.5, 4 months after the program. Okay, that's not the same. But in some video, I remember you were talking about, let me go there back. Wait a second, where am I? I'm confused. Okay, StreamYard. Okay, I'm on StreamYard. Let me go to here. Okay, this
I'm
is
just staying
your
with a family
visiting.
in Canyon Lake at the moment, and I'll be here for 7 days
You see
before
that?
I head to New Zealand for a year. And I was just wondering if I could come in just for a checkup on my teeth to see if everything's okay.
Were you wanting a cleaning also, Roger? Or?
Possibly not on the first appointment. I just pretty much just a general check over, and then if anything needs to be done.
Okay, I turned it off. I don't remember where it is. So
Okay.
the bottom line, I remember how you said that your main concern was how would it work? How would it work when you are in the kitchen? When you
Yeah.
are at work?
Yeah.
That was your main concern. Can you
Yeah.
tell, you already started, you talked about it a little bit, but can you tell more? So I remember one thing you told me about how you had a conflict at work and someone was not good and you finally had it enough. Okay, let me change the setting so we could be just you and me. Okay, and how you sorted out the problem by entering the room and telling everything you wanted to tell to the person. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of recall. I'm not sure the exact conflict, but I do remember one not long after the program, and it wasn't long before I left that job because that was going to be my next part as well. It was maybe a year after we did the program or less, where it must have been less maybe because I came to see you in Los Angeles because it was basically an option to stop over in Los Angeles. Like I couldn't afford to fly to Los Angeles just to see you. Unfortunately, I would have done, but it was on my way to New Zealand because I decided it gave me that confidence to now. I just want to make up on lost time, if you will, by holding myself back in things. So I decided to, even though my mum was sick at the time, so I was afraid to leave the country. But I think, yeah, it would have been about that time because I had to apply for the New Zealand working visa before the age of 31. And then I had until a year after I got accepted to enter the country. So I remember I applied for that. It would have been the Christmas of that year that we worked together. And I think we worked together in the June.
May. It was May.
May, was it? Was it May?
But you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
matter.
So I just want you to share
The
that
conflict.
experience.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, when you finally said it all, what you wanted to say to the guy who was a moron, as you thought.
Well, obviously in kitchens, there's a lot of conflicts all the time and things are happening all the time. It's not always the easiest job to have, to be honest. But I remember that one time vaguely because it was so long ago. And I just, so I think it's having a go about something. So we decided just to go into the office and just have it out and discuss things. And I remember being so assertive and saying exactly how it was, and just how being able to do that without completely getting angry and losing it, through frustration that I couldn't speak. Because some stutterers, and I was kind of the same, if I got really angry and red mist, I could get it out because it was just boom, boom,
there
boom.
is no meaningful pause.
Yeah, that's it.
Do not give yourself time to think what to say.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Okay. So,
Yeah.
but you know what? For some reason, this sticks in my memory. You told me that the guy who you were talking to, who you were just telling whatever you wanted to tell him, right? He
Yeah.
looked at you with his jaw dropped.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very
Is that
unexpected,
Roger?
you know. Yeah, they didn't expect it. Yeah. And so yeah, so then after that, you know, I think I got a lot of respect for that as well, that I did stand up for myself and gave my opinion in a not forceful but in a direct way. You know, I said what I wanted to say, how I wanted to say it, I said earlier. And so yeah, I was able to do that now, you know. And obviously people around me when I went back to work noticed the difference straight away. I think a couple of people from my job commented on the video that you uploaded as well, which is really nice. And that was good because it gave me some credence that I'm not an actor. You're not paying me to pretend that I was a stutterer and now I'm not, you know. And again, I'm here 12, 13 years later. You know, I wouldn't be wasting my time if you'd already paid me. I'd be gone if I was a scammer, you know. And I know we've not really been in touch very often over the years, very much every so often. And
because you're living your life.
Well,
You're
yeah, there's
living
things,
your
life
life.
goes
You
on, you
don't
know.
need
Yeah.
me. You
No.
know, our relationship is a little bit different than
Mm.
with all other students, because most of the time people take the class and leave when they don't need me anymore. But because we are kind of already friends, you visited me in California. La, la,
Yeah.
la. By the way, you know what's going on in California.
Yeah, I've seen the fires and stuff. Yeah, a lot
Where
of
we
mess.
went, Hollywood, there is no more Hollywood. I
No
don't know
way.
if
Yeah,
the Hollywood letters are still standing. I'm not
I'm not
sure.
sure. Obviously, I'm into all the True First stuff, and on Telegram I keep up with the news, but I've not really followed the fires recently. Nothing surprises me in this world we're living in right now, but yeah, it's horrible. Yeah,
It's just the biggest disaster probably in the whole world.
yeah. At
Just
this time, yeah.
and the worst fire in the United States history.
Is it really? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really not looked too much into it. Yeah.
You know that part of my family lives in Los Angeles, so my sister was evacuated.
No
Thank
way.
God her house is still standing, but
Good. Yeah.
the fire is still raging. Anyway, raging. So let's go. I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
So
fine.
you had really big success and then you went with your life, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I decided to go to New Zealand without a job, just 3 days accommodation in a hostel in Auckland. I just had that confidence that, and obviously before that, I'd worked hard and worked in a lot of really nice restaurants. So I worked for Gordon Ramsay in London for for over a year, and for Marcus Waring, Petrus and Claridge's in London. So they're Michelin star restaurants. So I had a good CV. So I knew that I would at least be able to get a job as a chef. So, but it was still kind of scary, but I don't remember feeling that nervous when I came to see you, like before my trip over there, because I stayed with you in Canyon Lake, remember, with your dog.
It's in the
Cam.
video. This is in the video. Let's illustrate.
Love that.
Just because we have this option. Here in this video, you're sitting on the couch in my office, right? And
Yeah,
I'm
that's your house.
filming you.
Yeah.
You ready? Let's watch a little bit.
I look terrible.
I really love this video. Okay, let me start it. Okay, I have to go to YouTube and start.
I'm here just for about 7 days now. It's a little short on time, but just a general check over would be good.
Is the sound okay?
What needs working on, really.
Okay. I don't have anything available today. I would have tomorrow morning at 8:30.
Okay, tomorrow morning at 8:30 sounds good.
Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Okay. And I'm sorry, once again, your name?
It's Roger Thompson with a P.
With a P?
And your date of birth, Roger?
It's the 24th of December, 1980.
Yep, you were. 24.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Okay. And then do you have dental insurance to help you with it, or you can be paying cash?
I'll be paying cash if I need,
Hey.
on the first appointment, yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant.
All right, very well. we'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:30.
Okay, thanks very much, Sherry. Have a nice day. Cheers. Bye.
So was it that hard?
I just got in the flow. It's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got a good idea of the location now. I didn't
I'm
personally.
gonna stop this for a second.
Right, okay, so you
Okay.
suggest we go.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this for a second. Do you remember what you were doing here?
It was something about you had an issue on your Mac, on your desktop Mac, and we had to take it to Temecula, was it? Temecula.
Temecula. Wow, you have
Yeah.
good memory. But I
Surprised I
think
remembered.
here you are talking to one of my next student.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
maybe not.
Camille,
Let's see.
was it? Maybe
Let's see.
Camille.
I know you were talking. Let's see who you're talking with.
Go into the Apple Store,
Oh,
explain what's
you're
going
right.
on, because obviously, would it be an idea to actually take the Mac into the store?
That was it.
Yes.
Right.
However, you have to make an appointment.
Yeah.
If you would like, I can make an appointment with our with the Genius Bar for you.
Yeah. Would you like to make an appointment now,
Yes.
or we could call them back?
Yes.
Yeah. Could we make an appointment now? That would be great. Over the next few days, or sometime over the next few days, will be great.
And do you know the name of the store that's in Temecula, as she stated?
Temecula,
Yes, that's right.
You're right.
Promenade Temecula. Is that the store that you're speaking
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Now, just to make sure, do you have a backup for your data that's on that computer?
Yeah. We've got a time.
I'm gonna skip a little bit because it's too long. Okay, you're talking.
3:45 Temecula.
And what is this? Do you
Yeah.
remember what this is?
I always remember pain on it.
Was it really painful?
No, probably not. I think it was just a clean.
Right. No, I mean, he was visiting a dentist and Roger is blah, 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 blah. Just every cute girl is smiling to him there. I remember this. Okay. I'm going to skip a little bit this painful part. Okay. And we're going to go to din, 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 din. Okay. Where you're flirting with the ladies.
I wasn't flirting.
This is cool. I really like this part. You see, look at your smile here. Okay, learn. Okay, right here.
Oh, good.
Very entertaining as well as doing a good job.
I'm glad you had a good
You
visit.
know, everyone happy.
Doctor has made some recommendations
Yeah.
for you, so we have you scheduled on Monday at 12.
Okay, that's fine.
So we're going to get that taken care of before you
Yeah.
get on your flight.
Fantastic. That's good news.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
What time is your flight on Tuesday?
It's quite late at night, like 11:30 p.m. So the whole day on the 11th is fine as well. So yeah, cool.
That would be bad. Yeah, that's stop.
I'm
That's
well,
you.
stopping up in Fiji, so
Jeanette?
it's pretty much there.
Hi,
But then
you're
you've got to
downstairs.
change over for another
Hey,
2
I was
hours.
wondering, how about you find a job and a wife in Fiji? That
I
sounds
know.
good to me.
It did cross my mind. I might do it on the way back because I stop off there as well. Nadie, but like I couldn't stop off on the way there. To be honest, I couldn't really afford it, so I need to find a job as soon as possible. And then yeah, who knows? Fiji and wife.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
The beach in Fiji sounds wonderful to me.
Yeah, yeah. There's quite a few islands. Yeah, it looks beautiful. They're in paradise. A lot of people who go to New Zealand head down there anyway. The South
Okay.
Pacific
Okay.
area. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Have you enjoyed it here?
Yeah, it's been great. Well, the sun. I've only been here for like 2-3 days, so I've not really done any major exploring yet, like
Right.
LA or
Yeah.
Hollywood, or, you know.
Well, there are some other places
Yeah, I'm
in
sure there are,
California
yeah.
that represent the United States
San
that
Diego,
you
right. Okay, then cool. I'll check them
that
out.
are not as hot as Canyon Lake.
It's going to be 140.
Okay, brilliant. That's all.
Okay, let me get the other.
Let me
140.
stop it.
Correct.
Oh, Anna,
Okay,
I've got a question.
here you're paying your big money. That was a
Anna.
lot of money for you, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. I've just noticed on the streaming app here that there's a
Uh-huh.
comment section. I think for us two, it's in private chat. If you click the other tab for comments, a couple of people.
Oh, yeah,
commented
you're
there.
right. There's
I
6
didn't even
comments.
realize.
Stupid
Like,
me,
hi,
I didn't
Ketty,
notice. Wow, Katie Cooks
Sofiane,
said hi.
hyphen,
Thank you so
Heather,
much. I'm
Ajay.
not,
Sorry for ignoring you guys. I didn't see that until now.
I didn't see
Yeah.
it as well.
go.
My God, stupid me. Okay,
No.
let's look at them because we were having so much fun.
Yeah,
reminiscing.
and they were about an
So
hour
let's
ago.
see. Okay, yeah, Roger, good to see you, Katie Cooks.
Oh, I recognize that name. I think
Really?
that's the person who asked me just to comment on the YouTube comment the other day. I've not had a look at my notifications yet, so yeah, great.
Okay, so that was Katie Cook. Sorry, okay.
I
Yeah,
think she could be
Roger,
a
good
chef
to see
actually,
you.
and does cat food and human food as well. Looks
Really?
pretty cool. Yeah, I think she uploaded 4 videos. I might look at them later. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, good to know. Okay, now the next question is from Sao. Okay, show. Sao Fiani. Okay, you read it. You can see. I didn't know you could see it.
Okay, so this is from Sufiani Asala. Sorry for
Yeah,
absolutely
we will not be able to read it.
destroying that
but okay.
name. Yeah.
Asasla. Okay.
Yeah. Hello, Roger. Can you explain to us the detailed steps that enabled you to get rid of stuttering? Okay. So detailed steps. I would say first step to finally overcoming it was finding those videos on YouTube. And Anna might disagree, but I would still recommend going back on Anna's channel to the oldest videos and just watching that free part with Roman was really good. Definitely, that was the one that really got me to contact Anna in the first place. Because you might have missed those because they were like 12 years ago, and I know sometimes we don't look at YouTubers and look at their old videos. It's always got to be what's the most recent. That's the most important. But sometimes there's old gems in there, so definitely go rooting. And it was basically just making that decision. You know, it's a lot of money for most people. You know, investing in yourself. But you know, we look at everything else in life. If we want to get a new computer, you know, it costs a lot of money. You know, a new monitor, going on holiday, you know, buying new clothes and things like this and that, and just investing in our lifestyle. You know, and there are ways if you're committed to doing something. This is a one-off thing. And if you stutter, it's obviously a big burden on your life. And this is one thing that is worth investing in. And Anna's brilliant. Like honestly, I'm not even joking. Like, and I'm not just saying that because you're here, Anna, and just trying to be nice to you and anything like that. It's not like that. You know, you're a really good teacher, and I know you've had a lot of backlash and stuff, but I've done a lot of like personal development stuff and research in my life. You know, from my early 20s, I was always into spirituality and personal development, how to be happy, how to be successful, how to not be depressed, all this stuff. And you can explain things in such simple terms that just click for me. It might just be for me, you know, but I'm sure if it's for me, then it'll be for a lot of other people as well. Because I've tried loads of programs on speech and stuff, and this was the only one that was the real deal.
This was the only program that made sense.
Yeah, so going back to the question as well, with the detailed steps, it's hard to say like detailed steps, you know, because I can't like replicate what we did in the program right now, but I can promise you it's not rocket science. It was nothing overly complicated, but it's about just having self-discipline to do what you're told and just learn these basics that Anna will teach you. Although Anna did send me a copy of a latest book, and this isn't a promo that like I'll go and buy the book, but
why not do the
one.
promo? No problem.
Yeah, it's again, you know, I look, I'm in the UK and the book is priced high up there, you know, and but I tell you what, I read about half of it now, just because I was interested. Anna sent me it in November, but I just didn't get round to really looking at it until recently. And then I skipped through it to the very end and was reading a little bit, and literally the information is in that book, you know. And like I mentioned earlier, with people, especially stutterers, can be quite lazy sometimes working on themselves with a speech, because maybe they just think that, well, everyone else can speak, so why should I have to put in the effort? But I think for those people, yeah, you'll have to work with Anna just to dedicate 3 days of your time. But I can't see any reason why the information that I've seen in that book, and I don't really follow Anna's YouTube videos, that much. Maybe I'll watch a couple of videos a year every now and again, or catch up with her and have a chat. But with the videos and the book, you know, you're pretty much 90% there, you know, and I'm sure Anna will answer a question here and there. But I think, you know, if you want this just sorted out once and for all, it's probably best just to contact Anna. And even if it takes you another year or two to save the funds, there are ways to, you know, to make money in this world and save money. I know it's getting harder as the years go by with the way the world's going. They make it very difficult for you to save money these days because everything's, because half your money goes to tax. You know, I'm the same. I lose half my money in tax, you know, and then the things that I buy.
I just want to interrupt you for a
Crazy.
second because you mentioned the money. And I want to mention to the person who asked the question, if you guys are aware that today, I totally understand the economy situation today, that it's crazy. People, the priority of people, of course, are not speech. Their priority is what they're going to buy for food today, for housing.
Me too. Sometimes, you know, it's not always
crazy.
easy.
I mean, the economy is collapsing in many, many countries today. But this is why I understand this. And this is why we, for December, January, February, 3 months, we are accepting students for 50% discount or 50% less. 50, half the price. You can take the class for 3 days and get all the benefits that Roger had for $6,000. He had the program for $6,000. You're going to get it for free today. No, I mean, for free. For 3. Almost copied you, Roger, how you say. Not 3, but free.
My English accent's very, it's not perfect.
It's English.
It's Northern English, you know.
3. It's half of the price. But guys, you got to understand, it's up to 30 hours of my time. Up to 30 hours over 3 days and even more. Because even after the class, I communicate, I take the progress reports, video progress reports and stuff. But to answer the question that was done for Roger, you asked Roger, may I, Roger, answer this question?
You can, for sure. Because
I've seen,
because there's not that much detail involved. Yeah.
Right. I've seen what you have done. You have come to me when the program was very raw in English language.
Yeah, risky.
It was not, I mean, of course, Roman has taught a lot of people in Russia, but English-speaking people have a very, I mean, not very difficult mentality, but different. Okay, without the word very. And in order to teach, I had to learn. I had to train myself, and I had to do the work. This is why, let's put it honestly, that when you came to me, I didn't feel right to charge you anything. Everything you paid went directly to Russia, to Mistress Nishko. You didn't pay me a penny because I wasn't sure about anything. I didn't feel right to charge you. And I worked so hard.
I know you did.
It wasn't easy because English was still not my strong language. So in my perspective, what Roger has done to finally get rid of stuttering, he had many conversations with me. He kept asking questions. We were talking about life in general, even before he came to me, right? Yeah. About health issues, this, that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I forgot all that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then after he took the class, he was always in contact with me. Always. He would go away for a year or two, and then he would say hello to me. And I would check on him. How are you doing? Let's see what's going on with you. And whenever he had a confusion, because it does happen, people do get confused, okay, with this crazy misinformation, crazy amount of misinformation spread everywhere in social media. He would have no problem simply calling me, asking questions. He was always with me.
Can I
He was
interject
always,
there, Anna?
yeah, it was
Yeah,
very
'cause
important.
it just reminded me of something when I was talking about, I was helping after the program on Facebook, Messenger, YouTube comments. I was writing a blog or something on the forums, trying to explain that, you know, look into this person. I remember being around stutterers. I spent a lot of time with stutterers after the program. And so obviously that took its toll on me as well. And it was almost impossible not to bring doubts into my own mind, even though I could see the results for myself. I remember I slipped up. Yeah, I did. I slipped up. And I think over the years, I've had to contact you a few times because I felt like there was something not quite right. And I went back a little bit in my
Once
step.
again,
You
I'm
know?
going to remind you were growing.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you
You
were
know,
learning not to
yeah,
listen to the BS,
yeah,
to the
exactly.
misinformation. People who have the systemic thinking, I don't know if you understand me, systemic thinking, people who still believe what the TV set is telling them, whatever their phone is telling them from all these system-owned sites. Okay, speech therapists, blah, 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 everything, even speech coaches who still believe that stuttering is a neurological disorder. Their thinking is still owned by the system. And that's why whenever you communicate with someone who believes wrong things, you get this influence.
It's
Okay?
akin to an informational virus, you know,
Yeah,
that you can
exactly.
catch, you know, it's like a real thing.
Right. So what Roger has done, he's always been in communication with me. Unlike some of our students, they just disappear. And all of a sudden, some of them, of course not, but about 5%, they would come back to me and say, "Oh, I cannot speak anymore." Why? Why? You have paid for this program. I'm always available. Let's see, what is it that you again got confused about? I am
Yeah,
here.
that's all.
I'm your
It's so
man.
simple. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so simple,
Mm,
but
mm.
people don't understand. So he was always around if he needed anything to learn, if he needed to go back. I also have had a couple of students who, just because we're talking about it, I'm going to
Yeah, sure.
mention, that would come to me. Because you, Roger, you didn't mention what's the job you had still to, I mean, you did mention that. You had to learn oral words.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
And without knowing oral words, your usta, your speech organ, doesn't have the muscle memory for saying all these words.
Yeah,
Okay?
exactly.
Of course, you
Yeah.
cannot speak with ease, with accuracy, with comfort.
No, because you don't have the confidence of being able to say that word, you know.
You don't
It's
know
very,
it.
yeah, and it's
This
so
part of your
confusing
body.
because even as a stutterer, you know, I was one of those people where if I was on my own in a room by myself, I didn't stutter, you know, very strange. Or if I sung, I didn't really stutter.
Strange.
Very well. I understand it now, but you know, it's like, yeah.
So
I
what
don't know
I
where my
was
train of thought was going there.
Right. But what I am saying, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting because I want to give you
Of
guys
course.
a lot of information. My heart goes to you. So once again, Roger was always with me. I was always available. And if he would go south, I would like, Roger, go back. Go back. Here are the norms. Here are the tools that
It was
all
crazy.
normal people are using.
And literally, just to be completely brutally honest, yeah, there was times where I slipped up after the program, so it's not like a magic cure where you pay your money, you spend a few days with Anna, and then magically you'll just speak perfectly for the rest of your life, you know.
I don't
It's
believe in
like,
magic.
no, exactly. Like it's the same with like a 3-year-old who's learning to talk, you know. Takes them a bit of time just to get it, maybe another couple of years or something to really get it and make it click.
However,
As we're
no,
mature though,
that's what
maybe
happened
quicker.
to you, Rog. Don't
Yeah.
confuse you
Oh,
with
okay.
other people,
Okay.
because I have had most of my students, it would click on
Yeah.
about on a second day.
Yeah.
Because once again, I want to repeat the program today to compare with 12 years ago. It's almost a different program.
And now, Anna, do you remember a few years back, I contacted you because I was going for a bit of a time. And literally, though, every time I do get in touch with Anna, maybe sometimes it can be once every 2 years or once a year, sometimes,
Yeah.
or months on end. But then if I have a question about something that's kind of bothering me, I speak to Anna, and literally, Anna, we can speak for 20 minutes. Now I'm like, I get it. I get it. See you later.
Back to normal.
Yeah, back to life, you know.
No, because
But that's
see,
my
story.
fault, though. Yeah, and those times it wasn't the fault of Anna teaching me wrong or the program, and it was my fault. I was lazy. I never put in the work I did on the program and after it. But I guess I've kind of got this little bit of a personality sometimes where I can self-sabotage myself. When everything's going good, I have to make sure something goes wrong, and that's normally my doing. And as soon as
I
I
want
get the
to add
information off Anna,
something.
I'm back on
Rog,
track.
at
Yeah.
least you realized that was your
Oh yeah.
wrongdoing. At least you realized it.
Anna,
Okay,
if I
but
ever thought it was you, I wouldn't come back to you. You know, I wouldn't be in touch with you. I'd think, no,
however,
that doesn't work.
I'm sorry. Again, I'm interrupting
No,
you.
I'm
because
interrupting you as well.
it's true. Good. So, because I've had a couple of students, not a lot, thank God, who would not realize that was their wrongdoing. They were not following the directions, the instructions that I gave them.
Yes,
And
that's all it is.
they would just expect a magic, like Roger said, something miracle.
Yeah.
No, miracles don't exist, because I give my students the 4 precise tools that all people on the planet are using to speak with ease, with accuracy, with comfort, confidence. 4 very specific tools. Okay? But if you don't use them correctly, you will struggle. All you need to do, just understand how to use those tools and get used to it. Get used to it.
And also to understand that those tools are not difficult either.
No.
You don't need to put any effort into this. You know, it's very simple. The only way you'll fail by doing it is just by not following what everybody on the planet who can speak normally. I don't like using normal for some reason, but normally,
because that's what the system tells you.
Yeah, because I don't want to offend stutterers, you know, and say, "Oh, you're not normal," you know. Because I was the same. I got a bit offended by that at the start.
The system tells you that there could be different forms of normal. That's what the system tells you. No,
there's only one.
Only one norm of speaking. Only one. Normal means according to the laws of nature. Nature. The other word, natural laws. Laws of nature.
Anna, I was always taught that stuttering was something to do with your brain. It's something you're born with, something you can't help. It's not your fault, you know. And so therefore I used to use stuttering myself as an excuse, you know. Oh, but I stutter, so it's okay that I'm not successful at this, or I'm not good at that. I can avoid things. Well, no, that's lies, you know, that we're taught. As for neurological, I'm sure there are certain very small percentage of people who have speech difficulties where it is neurological. They've had an accident, or there is something seriously wrong. Like
cerebral palsy, for example.
Exactly. Yeah, that's obvious, you know. Yeah. But
that's when the physical body is damaged.
Yeah, exactly. But for most people who stutter, even severely, everything here is intact. Your voice box is fine. Your lungs are fine. I remember I always had to, before I met you, I always had this understanding that breathing has so much to do with speaking. I literally never think about my breathing, ever. I don't think before I speak, oh, I need to take a breath. No, it's something that never crosses my mind for a second. And yet that was the basis of a lot of techniques that I used to learn, was breathing, you know, like breathe in, then breathe everything out, then speak on the exhale, or something like those lines. I forget all the techniques that I used to use, but now I understand that if there was a problem with my breathing, then I probably won't be alive right now. So let's just leave that alone, because as soon as you start meddling with nature, with your natural body, as soon as you start playing around and trying to think that you're better than the person who created you, God or whoever,
yeah.
then trust me, you're going to have problems. You're going to have big problems, and they'll just
Yeah.
get worse with time,
Right.
because my stutter never got better with time, really.
And I have had students who had difficulties, I mean, all kinds of diseases because of they doing too much practice, breathing practice.
Yeah, it's sad, really.
Lung emphysema, heart conditions.
Yeah.
I remember working with the older lady who was in the hospital doing some procedure, like blood transfusion or something was wrong with her kidneys. So it was crazy. It's because she was doing too much breathing exercises.
Yeah.
Oh,
not
I even
natural.
had one guy who had retina detachment. He was
way.
always breathing. He was pushing his eye muscles.
Yeah, I remember a bit of that for
Remember this?
myself. There used to be a lot of pressure around my eyes that
Yeah.
has disappeared now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope Saufiane Asasla, we answered your question.
Oh, and also I'd like to thank Ketty Cooks as well, because I think if she hadn't have asked if I could speak and then write a comment on the video, I think I did catch a comment maybe last night asking if I could upload a video. So I think without that comment and without getting in touch with Anna, then this might have not have happened today, and it might have been because I'm not really active making videos over the last years. I'm just busy with life and stuff. So, but I do plan maybe in the future to get back into videos and things, because I do enjoy it and I'm not hiding away anywhere, So it was a really good opportunity for me to catch up with Anna as well, because we've not spoken for this long in such a long time. So thank you, Ketty.
Yeah, but we have a few more questions. So
Yeah, go.
if Saufian still has more questions, then just go ahead and write. I'm going to hide this question and I'm going to open another one. Okay, Rog, is this question for me or for Roger? I guess it's for me. Okay, Roger, read. Who is this?
Oh, sure. This is from, I can't say it, but
Ifran Ali. I call him Ali. This is the guy
Ali.
who's always with me during the podcast.
Oh, cool.
Ali.
Nice. Hi, Ali. Good to meet you. But right. So the question is, could you tell me about the attention focus? When someone asks me my name, although I know the ringtones of my name, I'm still unable to say it, and I get a mental stupor block. So I guess he's asking why he's getting the block when he knows the ringtones.
He's asking about the use of the attention focus.
Yeah, primarily.
It's something I still notice you do sometimes.
I'm not perfect with it. Like, I would like to tell everybody, as much as I'm quote unquote speaking fluently, my speech still needs work. I've been a bit lazy on it recently.
What?
So
your speech needs work?
No, I just
12
I'm a
years
bit
later?
No, I mean in the sense where speaking is a skill that you can always be working, always improving. You can always get better at articulating yourself and your thoughts. Like, I'm no Jordan Peterson. I look at Jordan Peterson sometimes when I see him speaking. I'm like, that's how I want to speak. And I
have
could
no
if I
idea
put in the
who
work.
he is.
He's very current. He does a lot of videos on YouTube and stuff. You'll know who he is if you saw a video. But like, I mean, in the sense where, my speaking's fine, but I can always improve my speech to be,
that's for sure,
to be more professional.
So this question is for me then, right? Okay, attention focus is something that we are where we are, basically. So when someone asks me my name, although I know the ringtones of my name, I think you ask Ali this kind of similar question. You may know the ringtones, but you don't know. Ringtones are just separate parts of the word. You don't need to know separate ringtones. You need to simply do the whole word. Ringtones are just one movement. I mean, we don't speak in one ringtone at a time, right? Let's say if I want to say Roger, it's going to be Roger. And if I live in, for example, United States, I'm going to say Roger. It's going to be 3 ringtones.
Roger.
Depends on where you live, right? How it sounds. So you need to be able, your usta needs to have the muscle memory, Roger. All 3 or 2 movements, kind of one after another. But there are 3 more tools. And if you do not use these tools correctly, you will stumble. What are these tools? I have made, I think, a couple of live streams ago, I was talking about it. What are the 4 tools? I freely share information, but regarding attention focus, you need to be focused on this, using these 4 tools. That's what you need to do. But if you don't know what the tools are, how you could be focused on them? When someone asks my name, you need to be focused on what? Not on that someone. You need to be focused on the 4 tools. And that someone should be simply like this. Your eyes are the lights of the car. Remember, I keep talking about it. The guy who asked you for your name, he's still in your kind of side of view. Wait, sorry. Dropped my Instagram people. Okay. Focus beam of attention is very simple. It's there. Your eyes are still seeing at the guy who asked you a question, but your focus is not on the guy. Your focus on using these 4 tools.
Yeah, that's important.
You understand it, Roger, but
yeah, of course, yeah.
I'm not sure if Ali understands.
No, because I used to have the same problem as Ali all the time. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, Ali, if you have any other questions, just write to us. Okay, now the next was, who is that? Keba Ksei, maybe?
Hey, Keba.
He just said hello. Okay, let me hide it. Now I have AJ wrote hello. Oh, you read it. You read it, Roger. Do you see it?
Yeah, AJ wrote hello from India.
Right, hello from India. But see, even the title of this podcast is Ask Roger. I don't see too many questions. I guess we're going to have to wrap it up pretty soon.
Yeah, they might come through on the comments on YouTube, so I'll have a look.
Okay, perfect. So guys, here is the idea I gave to Rog, but I need your approval, okay? So write under the comment, in the comment below, write to me if you would be interested if we're gonna do a series of podcasts together with Rog. If you are interested to talk to him directly, we can do it today, together. And he's gonna see, he's really good at expecting. See, I didn't take meaningful pause and I made a mistake. It happens to everyone.
And what happens then when you make a mistake? You notice it and then you automatically just get back into the correct way of doing things. Yeah, exactly. It's as easy
back
as
to
that.
norms.
Yeah.
So once again, by the way, meaningful pause is a very important one of these 4 tools. If you would like to understand it better, you gotta have to order my book. Order my book, because this is an amazing book. Okay, it's available. It's much cheaper than taking the class, but you still can invest and read the book and understand what this 4 tools. There is a whole chapter. It's called 4 Usta tools. Okay, Usta is this. So let me know if you would be interested to see Rog, such a handsome dude,
Oh,
a few
no.
more times or whatever. We will do it for you if you are interested. Rog, would you be okay to do it a few more times?
Sure, I'd be happy to find the time when I'm not working or something. I'm
Yeah.
sure we can find time over the
Yeah,
next
it's going to be
months or
hard.
so.
Probably
Yeah.
it's going to be something like a weekend or something, whenever you're not
It
working.
depends. Yeah, it changes every week, but I'm sure we can plan something. Definitely. Yeah,
Right,
if people
right.
are interested, then I'll make myself available. And as for the live stream, I'm sure not everybody's available to watch live streams on such short notice. So if anybody does have any questions, just write them in the YouTube comment section when this video gets uploaded. And if I get a chance over this next week or so, I'll do my very best to reply to any that need replying to. So yeah, thanks for your time, everyone.
Okay, Rog, and I am so thankful to
Yeah,
you
thank you.
because I just cannot take it anymore. This person, by the way, I know who wrote the comment under your video because he asked for this. He talked to me. He asked to talk to you. He talked to me through Facebook, I believe. Can I see at least one person who is your graduate? I'm like, doesn't make sense, but okay. Let me ask
Exactly. Yeah, it
Rog.
doesn't.
Let me ask Rog, okay? And I even know who this person is. This person is like 50 plus man who has 90, who had 19-year-old girl, daughter.
Right.
He's probably older now because I
Yeah.
communicated with him a couple of years ago. And he wanted to do it for her, but he
And
could not decide to do it.
and Anna, before this live stream, I'll tell Anna as well. I told Anna, this isn't something that I'm very comfortable doing either. I don't make videos, and as much as my speaking is fine and it doesn't affect my life these days as it did in the past, this is still new to me as well. So I'm not really confident in this situation. I'm quite nervous, to be honest. I was dreading it. Well, not dreading it, but I was kind of half an hour before. I was like, I hope I don't mess things up. So it just goes to show that I might not be articulating myself as well as I can in other situations. But again, this is just from a lack of experience in this situation of doing live streams and stuff. It's just a lack of experience, that's all. And I'm
And
sure it's
maybe
something
sometimes
could
lack of
improve,
time. Lack of time as
Well,
well.
yeah, lack of time. Yeah, there's always something
course.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah, look what Ali wrote to you.
Oh,
Can you
super.
see?
Yes, boss.
You gotta read it. That's how you do the podcast. You
On
have
screen.
to read
Okay.
it.
So if Fran says yes, I'm interested in the podcast. Okay, well, we'll
Yes.
definitely
But
do our
with
best to,
Roger or without Roger, you tell me. Did you like this fact that Roger, who graduated 12 years ago, is still living stutter-free? Did you like to talk to him? I mean, would you like to talk to him? Ali, write to us. Okay. And here is another person wrote to you and to
Okay,
us
so
both.
Keba Kise says, I will be willing, Anna. So I assume that means he or she will be willing to join the podcast if we make it happen. So that's good.
So I just hope that people who are watching it recorded are going to give us more feedback.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we will decide. But you know what? Honestly, even for two people, I would do it. Even for two people, for me, every life matters.
Yeah,
Every voice matters. And it's time, guys. It's time. We break the system. Break the system. If you look at the picture that I selected as a picture for my Awaken from Stuttering book, do you see this picture? The globe that is just woven with a spider web, the system with the spider, you see the dollar sign on the system spine. Okay, system back. It's the money grabbing system that doesn't care about the quality of the services it provides. I said quality, quantity. delete everything I've said.
It's funny, Anna, like something along these lines came to me last few days because I'm quite interested in cryptocurrencies and things. And you'll find in that industry, a lot of the scammers, the people who basically rug, they will be calling out legitimate people, honest people, scammers, you know, and they do the exact same. And it's all about the money system and, you know, extracting as much as they can from the people who are actually trying to make a difference in the world for the better. You know, their voices tend to be silenced. It really shocks me how all these years have gone by and I see your views on YouTube are so low, you know, compared to maybe other people who are covering the subject who seriously don't have a clue what they're talking about. And it's, yeah, so it's kind of, you've got to use your own discernment and see what's working for you. So yeah, that's very true.
It's so amazing that you noticed that. I mean,
Yeah,
mention
I
that.
see it all the time.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you that there are many people who would like just to be entertained, but not too many people who would like to learn things
Yeah.
and be wiser. Okay.
Mm.
Not too many people want to learn something and just to spend their time watching YouTube on purpose to learn something. No, the majority of people want to get entertained, just kill their spare time, kill their life, and go to bed. And
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
like the day I'm talking about it in my book. The book.
I've been guilty of it myself, you know.
By the way, Roger, I never showed it to you. Look at the book when it's printed out.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I
One
was
side,
kind of surprised when you sent it to me how in depth
many
it was.
pages it is.
I think it's like 300 pages or something close to.
No,
So this is the
no, it's not
definitive. More?
300. No, I mean, it's 100, 245 pages.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, wait a second. Maybe you're right. 250. This
Yeah.
is 250, okay? But together with this and that, it could be 260. But anyway, people, if they want to learn, they will buy my books. You can't afford join the class right now. Buy at least one of my books. Read
Yeah.
it, learn,
Just study
educate
that
yourself.
for a few months, you know, just read that and implement what's been shared in there. Reach out to Anna, watch live streams and things like that. Because I'm sure I wish that I had this all this information now. You know, the free, I think you got free PDFs on your website and stuff, and then all the videos over the
Oh
years
yeah,
that you've
some of them
uploaded.
free.
I had
Mhm.
none of that. I had zero of that, you know. So I would have been on it, you know, because I remember when I was stuttering and I was looking for a way out. I did used to spend a lot of time researching and reading blogs because most of it was forums back then.
Yeah.
And to have all these videos and you available now in this moment in time, you know, you might not be here forever, you know, so take advantage if you see this, you know, it's better to take action now, you know, dedicate a
Mhm.
month maybe, you know, really taking it seriously, you know.
But it's only for those who want to just get out of the system. Get
Yeah,
out
because
of
some
the
people
system.
literally don't want to, you know, and the stuttering, as much as it sounds bad, it's a comfort blanket for them. It's a cocoon. It's an excuse that we can use for the rest of our lives if we want to, as excuse not to be who we were meant to be, you know, a better version of ourselves. I understand that. I do understand it. And that is a choice that you have, and you can take that choice and make the most of your life, you know, get by. That's cool, you know, doesn't make you a bad person at all, because I've been in that mindset for a lot of time in my life as well. But, you know, if you're here now, you know, or you're following Anna, that means that you probably have got over the, oh, it's a scam part. And now
Yeah.
it's maybe time to take the next step. But that's up to you, you know.
Okay, Rog. So, okay, 2 people only wrote to us to keep going. But anyway, so we'll see how many people are going to comment. And
Okay,
maybe,
cool.
maybe we will do it next week. Sometime we'll find. We will notify them, right?
Yeah, awesome. Awesome.
And
Yeah.
by the way, write your questions. Whenever the video is published on YouTube that it's coming, that the podcast is coming, write your questions there so we would know what you're interested in and we would prepare something so we could have a little fun. Right? Not to just say it, no, just to have fun.
Awesome.
right? Maybe bring some videos to you. Okay?
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Roger. Lots of love to you.
Good to see you again, Anna. Much love.
Good to see you. Thank
Take
you.
care, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone. See you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye.
Yes.